Welcome to Season 11 of Spotlight on the Arts. Lights, camera, confidence. The impact of arts education. My name is Jordan Vassallo, and as always, I'm here with the incomparable Brad Carter. Thank you, Jordan. Look at him, fantastic.
We are both artists in residence at Sydney Catholic Schools. And in this season, we explore the importance of arts, not just in education, but for life. It allows us to thrive and connect, making sense of the world around us.
In this episode, we chat with Stage 6 drama students from Sydney Catholic Schools who put us on the VIP list and give us a backstage pass to the process and preparation of HSC performance.
All right, Jordan, let's throw to some of our 2023 drama cohort and see how they explain the HSC process. Rachel, how did you decide on your piece?
I was in the Young Wolfies program at Sydney Theatre Company, and we went to go watch Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And at the end, there was like this really long monologue that was said by Jekyll, and I thought, that would be a really cool monologue. Someone should do that. And I was like, I should do that. And so it kind of developed from there.
How important is it to make a decision on your individual performance and stick with it?
Selecting a monologue can be really challenging. You're seeing what you're good at, like comedy or more something serious, or if you want to sing in it. Trying the different kinds is really important, but sticking with one that you know you can do to your best ability and can really work with who you are and who you want to be is the most important thing, and you just have to stick with that one.
Megan, we want to know, how did you decide on your individual project?
Well, first, originally my teacher presented me with the monologue and I read it through. And in my mind, I saw how many different ways this monologue could go and how in depth I could go with this monologue when it comes to the vocal, physicalization, and how much leniency I had with the monologue.
Look, that is one way that you can definitely find the material that you're going to be working on is through your teacher, because yes, they are a wealth of knowledge and they have all of the resources. But this is an opportunity for you to find a piece or something that speaks to you that you can connect with, because it's important to find things that are also in a language that you're going to be able to portray and that you're going to be able to connect with and that resonates with you and that you're going to be able to make your own. Again, it's this concept of making it your own. And regardless of whether you're going to be doing performing arts as a career, being able to connect with what you're working on is so important. And having that ownership and going out and finding it is half the fun and actually half the battle of understanding it. Because when you understand the origins and who the playwright is, you know, the style of the text, when it was written, all of the elements around it, and you find it, that's so much more rewarding than being given something, go, here, do this.
The beauty of it is when the students connect to the piece, the piece then connects to the audience.
100%. Okay, Chloe, how did attending the HSC Masterclass assist you with your preparation?
Attending the HSC Masterclass definitely assisted me greatly with my preparation for my individual performance, as getting early on advice really helped me figure out what path I was going to with my performance and knowing where to start, and really just getting good feedback on what I had already worked on and what I can do to further improve.
Attending the HSC Masterclass for IP, in the beginning it was just a really good way to perform it in front of an audience, because before it was just my drama class and it was just my teacher and a couple of the boys, but they'd seen me do it a few times, but having a new pair of fresh eyes really gave me some a different perspective on how I could affect an audience and really drive the central message of my piece. So yeah, it was good.
Hey Jordan.
Yeah.
Speaking of HSC masterclasses, in 2024 we have lots of different opportunities and masterclasses that are available. And do you know where you can find them?
Sure do.
Where?
On the Sydney Catholic Schools intranet, on our learning management systems. You can find them on there as well if you're a teacher of Sydney Catholic Schools. If you're not part of Sydney Catholic Schools, you can find them on our link tree, through our social media. You can find links everywhere. These are some amazing masterclasses that
are hosted by artists in residence like myself and yourself, as well as some incredible education officers that we have employed here at Sydney Catholic Schools.
These masterclasses are value-adding knowledge, experience for our students and for our teachers. Get amongst it.
Now, Darcy, tell us about the theatrical style of your piece and how did you work with the script to create your final performance?
So my monologue was taken from the script Exit the King by Eugene Ionesco. It's an absurdist play. So we really worked on making it a cyclical script. It starts where it ended. It chopped and changed. There were lots of beats throughout the whole piece, as well as the movement and making that very rigid and not always the same.
Also, what advice would you give to your Year 11 self starting the HSC journey?
I would say, first of all, take it all in because it's very exciting. But I would say take risks, continue to listen to your teacher and make sure you have fun, ask all the questions you need to ask because it's only going to help you and you're only going to do your best once you get that help.
Get it, Darcy.
Great answer.
RLF.
Risk, listen,
Listen.
fun. Risk, listen, fun. You can't get any better than that. Marist College Group. How important is it to document the process in your logbook?
Documenting the process in your logbook is really important, especially in group performances, because it allows you to know what you've worked on, what you need to remember, the flow of the idea, where it's been built from, how it started, and to where it's gone so far.
I feel like it's so important to document in the logbook. I'm so glad that they touched on that because often the rubbish that you discard is the springboard for new ideas and to make things fresh and to play. Would you agree?
I completely agree. And it's also that thing that you might not see it being there and something that's important now. It's that idea you come back to. It might be something that when you're trying to find that missing piece or trying to see what's that linking moment between whether you're doing an episodic piece or if it's a narrative, whatever your structure is, it's going to be able to help go back to your own thoughts and say, yep, let's pull this one out, let's give it a try. It also helps promote play as well because the more you play, the more you write, the more you give ideas and start to collaborate on paper, it will then start to help in the space as well.
Yeah, agreed.
The beauty of a logbook also is it is that reflection moment. It allows you to go back and see that genesis of an idea to help reaffirm what you're doing, why you're doing it as well. The more you logbook, the more you start to write down, it also starts to become part of your muscle memory as well. So I think it's a skill, it's an art form in itself, and it's something that artists take on with them outside of a HSC. Even as a director, my prompt copy is full of notes, rubbing out. Pencils and erasers, they're my favourite things.
And even working as a choreographer as well, like throughout the process, when you start working on an idea, you're constantly noting down how can this idea evolve, and you document what happens in the rehearsal.
Yes.
And how the dancers in front of you are improvising and creating movement. You might see a little moment that sparks something. You write that down, and then it's not for weeks that you come back to, revisit what you were working on, and your idea has changed completely. You've moved completely on a different path.
Yep.
But if you come back to that, there's another springboard onto a different idea.
Well, how often is it too, as a collaborative point of view, when you're working with a director or you're working with a set designer, all of a sudden what you've created, there's going to be a big wall in front of it, or this fly's coming in, or the lighting is different, or, a piece of action has to happen. You're going to need to refine, and make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah? Lachlan, how did the Viva program assist you?
My own school didn't offer drama as a subject, so I resorted to the Viva program at Southern Cross. Being there with people that have to make an effort to get there means that all the people that do end up getting there are determined and actually do want to pursue the subject properly.
That's a great answer, Lachlan, and a really good insight into why we do this. Do art subjects because you want to. Have that drive. Don't just feel like you have to go there. Feel like you are urged, you are drawn to the art subjects. Okay, St. Patrick's Group. If you could start the process again, what would you do differently?
If I could start the process of making a GP again, I would probably make sure we always are doing more improvisation every single lesson. Just maybe not trying to perfect what you have so far, but just trying to build more on it just so you get up to that like 12, like 11-minute mark.
How did all of you manage your rehearsals?
Good question.
We would do rehearsals for an hour and a half every Tuesday and Thursday after school.
Okay, time management. So this is a very important part, and it's something that is not just arts related, this is life related. So understanding what your time limits are and where your starting point is and where your finishing point is are so important. For me, I always work backwards from delivery. So when your due date is, you work backwards and understand how much time you want to give yourself so that you're not stressed, you can provide the best quality product, you're able to create and collaborate in an environment that gives you the best opportunity. So having a set rehearsal period is great. As a group, understanding and everyone agreeing to this is what we're going to do. Even signing a little contract amongst each other to say, hey, listen, we're going to be meeting on a Friday. Yes, we have our 2 classes a week, but we're also going to do a Friday and a Saturday in the month lead up to the actual exam or to first delivery.
And also giving yourself a buffer too, I find is really
Totally.
helpful because things come up, people are sick, you know, people miss rehearsals for whatever reason, and that's fine, but it's really important to have that buffer, especially close to crunch time, so that if you aren't where you want to be, which happens every time, right? When you're putting something together, you're not quite where you expect to be. You do have that buffer of rehearsal time just to polish it and make sure it's perfect before you get there.
Totally. And research what other people have done. So hot tip, it generally takes about 72 to 86 hours to put on a full-scale musical, choreo, dance and sing. So when you start to understand things like that, you can then start to plan what a rehearsal schedule is on a musical. So with a HSC drama piece, people have been doing this for years. Investigate, find out, ask questions, ask former Year 12 students, how long did it take? Use the resources that you have around you that you don't necessarily think are there. Little hidden gems. Join us next week for Season 11 of Spotlight on the Arts, Episode 4, HSC Music, Rehearsal, Rhythm, Repertoire. You really are fabulous, aren't you?
No.
Stop it.
This episode was recorded at the studios of Southern Cross Catholic College in Burwood.
We respectfully acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of this place where many stories have been told, artworks created, and dances celebrated and shared for thousands of years.